That is correct.
All right. So thank you all for your testimony. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your leadership.
Policy. My time in Washington is bracketed by bailouts. Right before I got here, we passed the TARP, which led to a massive bailout of the financial services industry and, of course, a bailout of the auto industry. Secretary Mnuchin, I had the opportunity to talk to Chair Powell about this, so I want to talk with you about bailouts. I like to believe that we could do fewer rather than more. I don't like the idea of business managers, large and small, thinking that every 5, 7, 10 years the federal government will bail them out of liquidity crises or whatever it might be. I also like the idea, as long as we're going to do these things, that the American public be compensated for the use of their funds for private and commercial purposes. And I admire your efforts to get warrants and make sure that, that the American public is compensated. But there's a funny hostage situation that develops, right? When I proposed that on a caucus call, I instantly got calls from labor unions in the airline industry saying, no, if you make the money cost anything, they won't take it and they will fire us. That feels to me like a hostage situation. Give me the money for free or we will not take it and we will fire people. So, Mr. Mnuchin, I'd love to give...
For taxpayers, I think it was very, very important given what went on.
So let me run an offbeat idea by you. As it happens, I had the opportunity to talk to both Secretary Paulson and another former Treasury Secretary about it.
Energy and things like that that will not necessarily be around for
5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Secretary Mnuchin and Chairman Powell, thank you for being here today. Colleagues in the House, to bring this to the floor. Secretary Mnuchin, I am grateful also. How much money do you think we could repurpose from CARES in order to do this? And tell us, again, what this would mean in terms of economic recovery.
I want to talk about EBITDA restrictions in the program, too. The restrictions that we have in the program right now do prohibit many commercial real estate borrowers from accessing the program.
Donald Trump and the Senate continue to do nothing about it. It's cruel, callous, and cold-hearted. But what else have we come to expect from Trump, McConnell, and the boys? And in the midst of all of this, to take away the health care of millions of Americans. That's what they want to do. We know it because they've been trying to do it for 10 years.
On November 11th. And the Trump administration has been clear what they would like to provide the American people. They have been pushing what some call short-term, limited duration health plans, others call junk plans. And let me just be clear what this vision of healthcare that this administration says to the American people. One, these plans restrict or deny coverage to people with pre-existing conditions. We have just created, this pandemic has just created millions more with pre-existing conditions. 43% of these plans do not cover mental health services, and it should be shocking to the American people that they have been forgotten by this administration and by Mitch McConnell.
Which is really a privately run public utility. And it's in the best interest of the American people to make sure that we keep it going through this pandemic, and most importantly, can keep the tens of thousands of people who are employed by the industry working and certified. Perhaps in one instance to jam a extreme justice down the throats of the American people, but in the other instance to refuse to provide relief to Americans who are suffering through a once-in-a-century pandemic.
As President Trump said earlier today that he will make his nomination pick there for the next Supreme Court justice. Let's go back out now. Keep you in Washington right here, getting an update there from Secretary of the Treasury, Steven Mnuchin.
I'd have to look at that in particular. You know, EBITDA is a very standard cash flow measure. It's if you're going to make a cash flow loan